NCAS-M, students, scientists, and stakeholders. Well, you will learn all there is to know about NCAS-M. I'm your host and current NCAS-M fellow, Cameron Billette. We are a student-led podcast designed to help you explore all educational and career opportunities available here at NOAA through NCAS-M. On this podcast, you'll hear stories and conversations from students about their current and past experiences working here. You'll get to understand our mission and hopefully come and join us. Today, we are joined by Kendall Parks, who is a rising junior at Jackson State University in Mississippi. Kendall, welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm Kendall Parks, a rising junior meteorology major at Jackson State, Mississippi.
Hi, Kendall, and thank you for coming onto this podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. So you just mentioned that you are a rising junior at Jackson State University and your major is meteorology. So you kind of answered my first question that I normally ask, but can I ask, how did you decide that you want to be a meteorology major?
Well, growing up, I had a lot of science courses, and during the third grade, my teacher always used to take us outside and to study the clouds, and she really made it interesting. So where I wanted to make an actual career out of this when it became time to start deciding what I wanted to do with my life. So
you went into college being a meteorology major?
Yes.
Okay. So you went to college being a meteorology major. Do you have a minor?
Mathematics.
Oh, okay. And so how did you first hear about NOAA or NCAS-M?
Well, my first year teacher always stressed that it was important to have a good GPA so I could start doing these research programs with NOAA and getting internships with them and applying to the different scholarships they so supported.
Okay. And so for those of you guys who don't already know, Jackson State University is one of 13 of our partner institutions for NCAS-M. NCAS-M is designed to get students from minority institutions into the NOAA workforce and other science-related and meteorology workforces. So you said that a teacher got you informed about NOAA and all the scholarships that it had and all the programs that it had. What is the first, I want to say, position or role that you had at NOAA?
Well, last summer, I participated in a research fellowship, so which I worked with NOAA staff and studying sea breezes along the eastern Gulf Coast of Mexico.
Okay. And what did you do during that project? You say you studied sea breezes on the what Gulf of Mexico?
Along the Gulf Coast of Mexico. So okay. What we basically did was we took the radar data and we looked at it and compared it with the model data and seeing if sea breezes were if the model data was an actual good indicator of sea breeze convection or if not, because you can tell if sea breezes happen by the model data, but it's not always as accurate as you want to be.
What is sea breeze convection?
It's basically just the lift needed to cause a sea breeze. But last year, it wasn't a good year for it. So it wasn't the results were kind of inconclusive.
Okay. And you did this fellowship virtually?
Yes.
How was the experience virtually? Was it what you expected or no?
It wasn't the worst experience, but it was definitely the NOAA staff made it easy, but it was definitely something that need to be worked on because it was like the first time they were doing it. So.
That makes sense. Yeah. I would say last year was definitely a hard year for any institution to adapt to full on virtual, because I know that my internship, my freshman year going into my sophomore year was at a NOAA's facility in Beltsville, Maryland. And I don't know how they would have done it virtually, but just doing this fellowship virtually is definitely just a little different. But yeah, I agree with you. Like transitioning virtually is hard. So they probably did their best that they could, but improvements can always be made. You know, it was their first time doing all of these kinds of things.
Right.
My next question is, okay, so You explained what sea breeze convection is. You explained what your project was. Would you say that this fellowship was good for you? Was it bad for you? Did it tell you what you wanted to do in the future, what you didn't want to do in the future? How did that fellowship affect your future decisions, both academic and career-wise?
Well, it definitely, I had never really wanted to go on the research side of the meteorology world. I'd always just want to do like general synopsis or forecasting. But the research wasn't as bad as I thought. So I would definitely be open into going into the research field, but I still do want to become a forecaster one day.
So you want to be like on the news telling us like what the weather is today?
No, I actually want to be at NOAA's facility, working in the field office.
Okay. And I'm sorry if this is a dumb question. So are the people on the news, they're considered forecasters, yes? Or they get their information from other people and they're just the people that deliver it?
Oh, no, they're definitely considered forecasters. A lot of them have whole degrees in broadcast meteorology.
Okay. So that that fellowship made you more open to research. Did it make you want to go back? You just answered this question. You said that you wanted to work for NOAA in the future. What did that fellowship lead to with working with NOAA? Because I know you have a current position now that was different from your position last year.
Well, it did lead to relationships within the organization that I've used with Dr. Buddy and with Dr. Buddy, she's pointed me in the right direction of some scholarships that I've yet to take advantage of. But I think it's a good step in a good direction.
So what do you currently do now with NOAA?
I'm not actually employed yet, but I'm starting a Pathways position on June 21st.
And what does that Pathways position consist of?
I don't know yet.
So you said that you're a rising junior. What are your plans for after you graduate, and how has NOAA shaped that?
I'm probably gonna end up going back to school to get my master's degrees or accelerated PhD program. But I think that's what I'm gonna do.
So a master's degree or a PhD program, do you know what you want to study in terms of getting your master's or PhD?
I don't have any research interest as of yet, but fire, weather always interested me.
So you're still trying to figure it out?
Yes.
That makes sense. And I would say NOAA is definitely a good place for that because, like I said before, we started recording. When I came into NOAA, I was a physics major, theater minor. And I actually had the internship, and the internship was a physics internship and it was research. But having the internship actually made me realize that I didn't want to pursue physics anymore because I really did not truly enjoy researching it at that capacity. And so I changed my major, changed my minor as well, because I did learn computer science from my first internship. I had an advisor who taught me some coding. And so I changed my minor to coding, but I changed my major to communications. And I thought I had absolutely no future at NOAA. I enjoyed the work environment and I enjoyed the people that I met, but I was just changing my major, changing my minor. There's no place for me here anymore. But then I got this fellowship. And so I just feel like NOAA, working here and just figuring out everything they're about, there's always a place for you. And so, like you said, you're kind of unsure as to what you want to do in the future, but it's probably going to do something with weather, fire, atmospheric sciences and stuff like that. I definitely think it's important for the audience to know that, when you have these internships and you go through these processes in college, you still might be unsure as to what you want to do, but there's still a place for you here at NOAA.
Definitely.
So I just want to thank you for coming onto our podcast today and just shedding a little bit of light as to what you did with NOAA and where you're going.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course, no problem.
See you. We
hope you enjoyed today's conversation and learned something new about NCAS-M. As a college student, it's normal to have levels of uncertainty about what you want to do in the future. But as always, there's a place here for you to grow, learn, and explore all educational and career opportunities at NCAS-M. We encourage you to apply at ncasm.org. Again, that is NCAS-M.org. We hope to see you soon. Thank you for tuning in to NCAS-M students, scientists, and stakeholders. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and share with your friends.